Why do humans like cats and dogs? Of course, there are many ways to love small animals. In ancient times, animals saw humans as terrifying, upright creatures, while early humans saw animals as cute wild meat daring to bare their teeth at humans, and humans would respond with a pitaya fruit, or even a round of CPR. But in modern society, people like cats and dogs mainly because they provide emotional value. For example, I have a friend who has a cat named Mimi. I really like Mimi's Mimi. She's the type that acts cute with her voice, feels as smooth as carved jade, not too big, just the right size to cuddle, doesn't eat much, and has quite a few tricks. In order to please humans, cats and dogs will even strengthen their strength in their interactions with humans. For example, cats can communicate with each other through body movements and smells without the need to meow. Meow. This kind of language is specially invented for humans. So sometimes you will find that cats will howl in a very unpleasant voice when there is no one around. And once they see people, their voices will become fake. Dayu in the human world and Jishen in the human world are also 1982 Longjing old green tea. Some stray mother cats will even take the initiative to carry their kittens to humans, asking to be taken in. Dear human, please accept us. As long as you take us in, anything is fine. Just please don't turn us away. And as for dogs, that goes without saying. Compared to wolves, dogs have even evolved 2 extra muscles around their eyes. The inner eye corner muscle allows them to raise their eyebrows, and the outer eye stretching muscle lets them open their eyes wider. That's why you often see human-like expressions on dogs. Besides loving the emotional value they provide, people are also drawn to their adorable appearance around faces and big eyes, which perfectly hit the human cute face preference. In fact, it's not just cats and dogs. All animals domesticated by humans tend to share some common features compared to their wild ancestors. Their eyes become smaller and rounder, ears softer, teeth shorter, tails curlier, and breeding frequency increases. In other words, they become more interested in mating. These traits are known in biology as domestication syndrome. Soviet geneticist Dmitry Belayev conducted an experiment to recreate animal domestication by humans. He raised 130 silver foxes and selected the group with the tamest personalities and least hostility toward humans to be bred separately. After several generations of selection, the appearance of the descendants of this group of silver foxes changed. Their faces became smaller and rounder, their teeth shorter, ears softer, and tails curlier. The domestication syndrome appeared. Humans only selected for temperament and did not deliberately choose appearance, yet the offspring all showed the same changes in appearance, which is quite remarkable. In other words, a gentle temperament and the physical traits of domestication syndrome are linked if you select for gentle temperament. These physical features come as a package. What's even more thought-provoking is that, compared to Neanderthals, our late-stage Homo sapiens had smaller, rounder heads and shorter jaws. Other animals all have fixed mating seasons. Humans are in heat all year, so we have a greater interest in sex. Domestication syndrome has also appeared in humans, so we too have been domesticated. Some quick-witted viewers might jump in and say, I know! Humans use food to domesticate wild animals into livestock, and bosses use salaries to domesticate my hard work into corporate servitude, making us value our jobs more than our lives. You see, when it rains, cows go into the barn, horses into the stable, but corporate workhorses still go to work. Of course, what we're talking about today isn't that kind of domestication. Instead, we're discussing how this livestock-like domestication syndrome appeared in human show did it form, and who exactly domesticated humans. It can't really have been aliens, so there's only one possibility. Humans domesticated themselves. In primitive societies, when resources were scarce, those who were violent, aggressive, and physically strong had a survival advantage. But as production tools advanced and throwing weapons like spears appeared, the safety of human survival increased dramatically. Naturally, there was no longer a need to be as violent or aggressive as before. Imagine this. You are an ordinary primitive human in your tribe, and there's a physically strong, highly aggressive brute in the group muscular and always looking for a fight. He attacks anyone he sees, bullies widows, desecrates graves, and commits every imaginable misdeed. In front of him, everyone else is so intimidated they don't even dare to make a sound. Plus, in primitive society, there were no laws or morals to restrain him. So what would you do? The best solution would be to join forces with others who have also been bullied and launch a surprise attack on him in the middle of the night. Brothers, are you really willing to be bullied like this forever? He's just a big brute, isn't he? So, on a dark and windy night, you take action, arson, and murder may be acts of infighting, but physically eliminating these bad seeds doesn't weigh on your conscience. Think about it. A natural disaster or an earthquake can kill countless innocent primitive people have. You ever hated the heavens or the earth for that? All we're doing is getting rid of an antisocial element. You could call it carrying out justice on behalf of heaven. And so, generation after generation, the genes for unfriendly tempers in the human population were driven out, while genes for being gentle, friendly, and able to cooperate were strengthened. This is human self-domestication. This self-domestication, enhancing cooperation within Homo sapiens, allowed us to triumph over Neanderthals. Of course, where there are benefits, there are also drawbacks. Through self-domestication, humans discovered that if you want to get rid of someone, it's all too easy no matter how powerful they are. As long as most people band together, isolate them, and label them as an outcast, you can take them down openly and justifiably. This is called a systematic, organized exclusion of dissenters. Because this method is so effective, it has dominated nearly all human conflicts since. Building on this, humans invented religious beliefs and related constructs. For example, during the Crusades, they said, believe in God like we do, will you? If not, we'll deal with you. The LGBT movement says, acknowledge there are 97 genders like we do, will you? If not, we'll deal with you. Simply put, these ways of excluding dissenters are old tricks our Homo sapiens ancestors mastered. Through self-domestication, early humans eliminated cruel individuals within the group, but internal struggles became even more ruthless. Humans are contradictory yet unified beings, greedy but can endure, lustful but can restrain themselves. At the same time, they are both cruel and docile, bloodthirsty yet gentle, with both humanity and animal instincts. All of this likely began on a dark, windy night, when a few early humans used clumsy language to plot revenge.